The old research station stood alone at the far edge of the colony, like a forgotten skeleton of metal and dust. Most people avoided it. They said the place was unstable, unsafe, and useless. The station had not been active for more than 30 years. Its power lines were half buried in sand, its windows were broken, and its central hall smelled of rust and stale air. Yet Aaron walked toward it on a calm morning, guided by nothing more than curiosity. He had passed by the structure many times before, but something about today felt different. The air around the station seemed heavy, as if it was waiting for someone, as if it was waiting for him. Aaron was not an explorer or a researcher. He was simply a maintenance worker in the colony, used to checking wires, repairing solar panels, and helping with basic systems. His work was simple, but he liked it. He enjoyed quiet places, and the station had always looked quiet. That was why he chose it, instead of spending his break in the crowded colony hub. He stepped through the crooked entrance door and wiped dust from his jacket. The inside was dark. Only a small beam of sunlight slipped in from the broken metal above. Aaron took a slow step forward, and then every single light in the hallway flicked on. He froze. First the ceiling lights glowed, one after another, like a chain reaction following his movement. Then the wall lamps lit up in a soft white tone. Old screens, untouched for decades, shimmered for a second before settling into a calm, standby glow. Even the emergency lights, lights that should not have turned on unless the main power was off, brightened all at once. Aaron looked around the hall with wide eyes. What is happening? He was alone. There was no one behind him pressing a switch or controlling a system. There was no hum of a generator powering up. The lights simply knew he was there and responded like a greeting. He took one more step. Every light in front of him turned on instantly. Every light behind him dimmed gently, as if letting him move forward without distraction. Aaron let out a shaky breath. Okay. This is strange. Very strange. He reached out and touched a wall lamp. It felt warm, newly powered, but he knew the station had been abandoned. The colony engineers always said the place was not even connected to the main grid anymore. There should have been no electricity here at all. Still, the hallway shone brightly as if welcoming him. Aaron walked deeper. With each step, the facility responded. Doors unlocked when he neared them. Screens brightened when he passed. Even the air system came alive, pushing out old dust and letting out a faint breeze that smelled surprisingly clean. It felt impossible. A broken station should not react like this, not for anyone. And yet, it reacted only to him. Aaron entered a central chamber. It was wide, with tall pillars and a large hollow table in the middle. This room had once been the heart of the station, where scientists gathered, where plans were made, where experiments were monitored. Now the place stood empty, silent, until Aaron stepped inside. The entire chamber lit up in a second. Dozens of floating lights appeared above the hollow table. Projectors hummed softly. Screens around the walls brightened, showing lines of code and strange symbols he did not understand. The air itself seemed to vibrate gently as the systems woke from their long sleep. A dusty display panel flickered beside him, showing a message in glowing blue letters. Identity verified. Aaron blinked. Verified? How? I didn't do anything. The display updated. Welcome back, Architect. Aaron shook his head. No, you've got the wrong person. I'm not an architect. I fix wires and roofs. But the station didn't seem interested in his argument. More screens powered up around him, each one showing different information. Maps, old research notes, diagrams, and system logs from years ago. Aaron slowly circled the hollow table. Every time he got closer to a screen, it shifted to a new page, as if trying to show him what he needed to know. But he understood nothing. The information looked advanced, far beyond normal colony work. The text style suggested the station might not have been built recently. Perhaps it was older than the colony itself. He stopped near a large screen that displayed a strange symbol, a circle with 3 lines stretching outward like rays. Beneath it was a line of text. Primary network, reactivation sequence started. Aaron frowned. Reactivation? I didn't activate anything. A soft hum filled the room. The lights above grew brighter. He felt a small pressure in the air, like the moment before a storm. The screen shifted again. Awaiting directive from Architect. Aaron stepped back. I'm not giving any directive, because I'm not the person you think I am. But the station behaved as if it could not hear him, or perhaps it heard him but did not agree. He rubbed his forehead and tried to think. Should he leave? Should he call someone? Should he just pretend none of this happened? Before he could decide, the chamber lights dimmed for a moment, no longer bright but more focused, like spotlights guiding him toward the back of the room. He followed the light. It led him to a locked door, or at least, it had been locked. As soon as he reached it, the door slid open smoothly with a soft sound, even though the metal seemed too old to move like that. Aaron stepped inside a small chamber with a single seat and a half-damaged console. When he approached the console, the cracked screen repaired itself with a flicker, smoothing its display as if time reversed. A message appeared. Core unit online. Aaron swallowed nervously. Why are you waking up? Why now? The console answered with a new message. You are present. He stared at the words for a long moment, unsure whether he should feel comforted or afraid. Why respond to me? Who do you think I am? The console gave him a single line. Human with matching signal. Aaron frowned. Signal? What signal? I don't have any signal. But the station disagreed again. Light patterns along the walls moved in waves, following his heartbeat. Yes, his heartbeat. Aaron noticed it clearly. The lights pulsed with him, perfectly synchronized. It was impossible. It should not be possible at all. Yet it was happening right before his eyes. Aaron placed a hand over his chest and watched the lights repeat the rhythm. What? Are you reading from me? Instead of a clear answer, the console showed, Link restored. Partial connection active. Aaron took a deep breath. This place, it's reading me like I'm part of it. But I've never been here before. He turned to leave, but the door closed behind him, not in a threatening way, but gently, as if encouraging him to stay. The station was not trapping him. It was inviting him. Aaron touched the wall again. It warmed under his hand. He wasn't sure whether he should feel fear or wonder. After a minute, he made his way back to the main chamber. The lights followed him again. Every screen returned to standby mode, waiting for his next move. The door behind him reopened calmly. Aaron stepped out of the building into the sunlight, blinking at the sudden brightness of the natural world. The station lights behind him dimmed instantly, returning to silence. But the moment he turned again and placed one foot back inside the doorway, every light turned on, as if happy to see him again. Aaron slowly backed away. Okay, this is real. This is all real. He hurried back toward the colony, unable to stop thinking about what he had seen. He needed to tell someone, maybe the engineering team, maybe the colony leader. Someone had to understand this. But deep inside, he knew something else. The station had not woken up for the colony. It had not woken up because of random chance. It had woken up because of him, and tomorrow he would return. He had to, even if he feared what he might discover. Aaron could barely sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the lights turning on by themselves, the screens waking, and the strange message calling him Architect. His mind kept repeating the same questions. Why him? How did the station recognize him? And what was the meaning of the signal it claimed he carried? By morning, the The colony felt noisier than usual. Workers chatted near the solar farms, machines buzzed in the distance, and children played outside the storage hub. But Aaron's thoughts remained fixed on the abandoned research station at the far edge of the settlement. He knew he could not keep this secret to himself. So he went straight to the engineering quarter and found Mira, one of the colony's best system engineers. Mira was smart, calm, and good at understanding old tech. If anyone could help, it was her. She looked up from her tool case when Aaron approached. "You look tired," she said with a small smile. "Late-night maintenance?" Aaron took a breath. "Mira, I need your help. Something strange happened yesterday. Very strange." She raised an eyebrow. "What kind of strange?" Aaron hesitated. He knew how unbelievable the truth would sound. But he had no choice. "I visited the abandoned research station," he began. "And everything there turned on when I walked in. Lights, doors, screens. The entire place woke up." Mira's smile faded. "That station doesn't even have stable power. It's completely off-grid." "I know," Aaron said, "but it wasn't off-grid yesterday." "Maybe someone restored power without telling us?" Aaron shook his head. "It only reacts when I'm near. When I walk away, it powers down again." Mira stared at him for a moment, trying to read his expression. "You're serious?" "I wouldn't joke about this," Aaron said quietly. Mira set her tools aside. "Show me." They walked together toward the station. The wind carried soft dust across the path, and the morning sun painted long shadows behind them. Mira kept glancing at Aaron as if expecting him to admit the whole thing was a prank. But when they reached the main entrance and Aaron stepped inside, the truth revealed itself immediately. The hallway lit up one light at a time, following Aaron like a glowing path. Screens glimmered. Vents turned on with a soft hum. Even the old metal doors unlocked the moment he neared them. Mira's eyes widened in shock. "What? How?" She took a step forward. Nothing reacted to her. The lights near her stayed dim. The doors remained closed. But when Aaron walked past her, they all came to life again. Mira rubbed her forehead with both hands. "This is impossible. These systems are older than our colony. They don't have active sensors. Some of them aren't even connected to each other." Aaron led her to the central chamber. Once again, the entire room awakened the moment he entered. The hollow table glowed. Screens displayed shifting symbols and diagrams. The station's presence felt almost alive. Mira whispered, "It's responding to you like you're part of its system." Aaron pointed at the dusty display panel. "Watch." The panel flickered, then showed the message. "Identity verified." Mira stepped closer. "That's impossible. It doesn't even have your profile." The next message appeared. "Welcome back, Architect." Mira froze. "Architect? You?" "No offense, Aaron, but you fix pumps and wiring. You're not a system designer." Aaron sighed. "I know. I've never even seen this place before yesterday." They continued exploring the chamber. Mira moved from screen to screen, trying to understand the code or the logs displayed, but even she struggled. The data looked old and advanced, using formats she did not recognize. "It's like this system was never part of our colony's database," she murmured. "Look at this. These logs are from before our settlement was even founded." Aaron felt a chill. "So the station is older than we thought?" "Much older," Mira replied. "But it shouldn't have any functioning core left." Yet the core was awake, and it responded only to Aaron. They entered the side room where Aaron had seen the strange console the day before. The door opened automatically as he approached. Mira followed closely. The console lit up again, repairing its cracked display. The messages returned. "Core unit online. Link active. Awaiting directive." Mira leaned over the console. It keeps saying you have some kind of link with it. Maybe a genetic signature? Or maybe... Before she could finish, the light patterns along the walls pulsed gently and aligned with Aaron's heartbeat again. Mira gasped. It's reading your biological rhythm. Aaron placed a hand over his chest. The lights matched his pulse perfectly. It did this yesterday, too. But how? Mira whispered. This should be impossible. Human signatures aren't coded into old stations. Unless humans built this station for a different purpose. Aaron remembered the strange diagram from earlier, the circle with 3 lines. Mira, can you check that symbol? It was on one of the screens. They returned to the main chamber. Aaron walked past a row of dark monitors, and they instantly powered up, showing maps and old research records. Mira pressed buttons, searching through the files the station allowed her to see. After several minutes, she found the symbol again. Here, she said, pointing to the screen. The symbol had a title, Project Deep Link, Phase 3, Research Lead Role, Human Architect. Mira breathed out slowly. This wasn't a normal research station. It was part of an old Earth project, a project meant to connect humans with advanced systems on a much deeper level. Aaron frowned. Connect how? Not physically, Mira said. More like mentally or biologically. A human who could resonate with machines. Someone who could activate technology naturally. Aaron stared at the glowing screens. Are you saying they made machines that respond to certain humans? Maybe not exactly made, Mira replied, but designed. They wanted a station that recognized a specific type of signal carried by certain people. Aaron felt the world tilt slightly. And I have that signal? It seems so. Mira paused. But how? You were born in the colony. You never had special training. Aaron shook his head. I don't know. I never felt special. The station suddenly dimmed and then displayed a new message on the largest screen. Primary network, reactivation beginning. Mira stepped back. Aaron, I think the station believes the original project is starting again. Aaron felt a tightening in his chest. Why? I didn't give it any instruction. The station answered with a simple line. Link presence confirmed. To the station, Mira said slowly. Your presence is the instruction. The entire chamber hummed. Lights shifted to a soft blue glow. The holotable projected a map of the system and beyond. Thin lines extended outward, highlighting routes and coordinates. Some led to distant places the colony had never explored. Aaron stared at the hologram. What is it showing? It looks like communication routes, Mira said. Long-range ones. Aaron swallowed. Like it's trying to send a message. Mira nodded. Or reactivate an old one. Aaron stepped closer to the holotable. The glowing lines pulsed faster, responding to him. He whispered, Mira, if this place is waking up again because of me, what exactly is it waking up for? Mira had no answer, but the station seemed to know. A final message appeared. Link restored. Broadcast ready. Aaron stared at it with rising worry. What broadcast? He asked aloud. Who is it trying to reach? The station did not respond directly. Instead, the lights brightened, the air vibrated gently, and the main console displayed a single line. Awaiting activation signal. Mira stepped away from the table. Aaron, it wants you to trigger something. I didn't come here to start anything, Aaron whispered. But the station seemed sure. It believed its architect had returned. And Aaron could sense a strange pressure in the room, as if the station was waiting for something old, something forgotten, something that might change everything. He turned to Mira. We need to figure this out fast. She nodded. And we need help. This is bigger than just us. As they left the chamber, the lights dimmed again, but only slightly, remaining awake, alert, and watching. The station remembered. And it was only getting started. The walk back to the colony felt much heavier than the walk to the station. Orrin kept replaying everything in his head, the lights waking up, the screens following him, the station calling him architect, and now the strange communication routes shown on the holotable. Mira walked beside him in silence. She was normally confident and full of ideas, but even she looked troubled. When they reached the engineering hub, she stopped and faced Orrin. "Orrin, we can't handle this alone anymore. We need to tell the Colony Council." Orrin nodded slowly. "I know, but what exactly do we tell them? That an old station thinks I'm some special figure from a project that happened before we were born?" Mira sighed. "We tell them the truth. Even if it sounds strange, they need to know. The station is waking up, and something big is happening." Orrin agreed. They headed straight for the council chamber. The council meeting. The council hall was quiet but tense. 5 members sat around a circular table, each with a calm but serious expression. They greeted Orrin and Mira politely, though confusion spread when they explained why they had come. Council leader Joran leaned forward. "You're telling us the research station, unused for decades, has reactivated on its own? And it responds only to Orrin?" Mira nodded. "Yes. We saw it with our own eyes. The systems follow him. They even show old records about a project called Deep Link." Another council member, Lyra, frowned. "I have heard of that name. Something from old Earth research archives, but I thought it was only experimental." "It seems it was real," Mira replied. "And the station was part of it." Joran turned to Orrin. "And you? You have no history of involvement with such projects." Orrin spread his hands helplessly. "I don't know why it recognizes me. I never visited the station before yesterday." Lyra tapped her screen. "What exactly did it say to you?" Orrin hesitated. "It called me architect." The room fell silent. Council members exchanged glances, unsure what to make of it. Finally, Joran spoke again. "And you said the station is preparing some kind of broadcast?" "Yes," Mira said. "A long-range one. The routes it showed reach far beyond our region." Joran exhaled slowly. "That could attract attention, good or bad. We cannot let unknown signals leave the colony without understanding their purpose." The council agreed to send a small investigation team with advanced equipment to the station. Mira would join them. Orrin, too, although he was not sure he wanted to. They would leave after preparing the proper tools. But before the meeting ended, Lyra asked a final question. "Orrin, when you were inside, did the station give any feeling, any sense of what it wanted?" Orrin thought for a moment. "It felt like it was waiting, like it had been asleep for a very long time and woke up because I walked inside. And it felt like it was trying to reconnect to something that mattered to it." The council members exchanged another look. Not fear, not doubt. Something more complicated. Concern, curiosity, and hope mixed together. The meeting ended with a clear decision. They would study the signal before it was allowed to leave the station. The investigation begins. The next day, Orrin, Mira, and 3 engineers named Sol, Davin, and Reed returned to the old research station carrying scanners, data tablets, and communication tools. Despite their equipment, all of them looked at Orrin as if he were carrying something invisible but powerful. The moment Orrin stepped inside, the lights awakened again. Mira pointed at the lights. "See? It's like you're a key." Sol shook his head in disbelief. "This technology is incredible. How can it respond so smoothly after decades?" Davin laughed nervously. "Because it thinks Orrin is its boss." Orrin didn't answer. He focused on walking calmly, trying not to show how uneasy he felt. The station welcomed him too eagerly, like an old friend meeting after years. They entered the central chamber. The hollow table projected the map once again, Only this time, more routes were active, lines extending farther into unknown space. "Look at that," Mira whispered. "It's expanding the network." Reed pointed at one of the glowing dots. "These points, they look like connection nodes, like receivers." Aaron felt a chill. "So there are others out there?" "Possibly," Reed said quietly. "Or there were." As they studied the projection, the large central screen flickered. The station displayed a new message. "Secondary files unlocked." Mira stepped forward. "It's giving us access to more records." A series of old videos and logs appeared. They showed early Earth scientists working with machines, testing communication patterns, and studying humans with rare biological signals. Aaron watched closely as a scientist in one of the recordings spoke. "Our goal is simple. A human who can activate technology with natural resonance. A human mind that machines can identify instantly. A living signal. Once achieved, communication with distant observers will be restored." The video ended. Sol's voice trembled slightly. "Observers? What observers?" Mira frowned. "The logs didn't say. Maybe they meant deep space researchers or—" Before she could finish, the room vibrated gently. The hollow table changed its pattern. A new line appeared, a bright one, leading far beyond any known star system. Reed leaned closer. "That's not a normal route. That's a target." Aaron's heartbeat increased. The lights followed his pulse again. The screen displayed, "Broadcast activating. Phase 1 beginning." Mira quickly raised her hand. "No, stop. We're not ready for it to send anything." But the hollow table was already glowing brighter, ready to transmit. Aaron stepped forward, unsure what to do. "I didn't activate anything," the station responded instantly. "Link presence detected. Automatic trigger." Davin shook his head. "You being here is enough for it to start." Mira touched Aaron's arm. "We need to calm it. Maybe you can stop it. Only you." Aaron approached the console again. He took a slow breath and spoke clearly. "Stop broadcast." The lights dimmed. The hollow table paused. The air pressure dropped slightly, as if the station was listening closely. After a tense moment, the screen showed, "Broadcast paused." Everyone released a breath. Aaron whispered, "It listened." Mira smiled with relief. "Good. Maybe you really can control it." But the relief lasted only a moment. The station displayed a final message. "Incoming response detected." The room fell silent. Reed's voice cracked. "Response? From where?" The hollow table zoomed out. A soft, blinking point appeared at the far end of the map. Davin checked his scanner. "There's a signal. Faint, but real. Something out there heard the station." Mira's hands trembled slightly as she analyzed the readings. "This is not a random echo. It's a structured signal. Someone, something, is answering." Aaron stepped back from the hollow table, feeling a strange pressure in his chest. Who would respond after all this time? The station offered the only answer it could. "Original contact point responding." Aaron felt as if the air around him had changed, grown heavier. The others stared at him with a mix of worry and wonder. Sul whispered, "Aaron, what if the observers weren't human?" The lights pulsed again, matching Aaron's heartbeat. The station showed one more message before the chamber fell silent again. "Estimated arrival 72 hours." Mira looked at Aaron, her voice barely steady. "They're coming. Whoever they are. They're coming here." Aaron swallowed hard. He didn't know if this was good news or something much worse. But one thing was certain. He had awakened something ancient, and it was already on its way. The next morning arrived slowly in the town of Luma Hill. Soft sunlight touched the roofs, but Ethan woke long before it appeared. He had barely slept. His mind was full of questions, ideas, and worries. What had happened to him? Why were lights reacting to his presence? And why did the strange signal grow stronger every day? For a moment, Ethan sat at his desk, looking at the small map he had made of all the locations where unusual things happened. He had marked the old trees on the hill, the quiet lake, the school hallway, the main street, and the lighthouse. All those places showed the same strange pattern, lights brightening when he came close, electrical items reacting, and energy changing like living air. He tapped the table gently. "Something big is coming," he whispered to himself. At that moment, the bulb on his ceiling glowed brighter by itself, like it understood his worry. Ethan sighed. Even simple objects around him seemed to respond to his voice now. He grabbed his backpack and stepped outside. The morning air felt calm, but beneath that calmness, he sensed the same quiet energy moving around him. It was no longer surprising. It felt almost normal, like a part of him he had not known before. But he was not alone in his curiosity. Mia and Leo were already waiting for him near the school gate. Mia waved. "Ethan, I think I found something important." Leo pointed to her notebook. "She's been up since 5 in the morning." Mia opened the notebook quickly. "Last night I checked every old record about strange lights in this town. People talked about unusual events more than 50 years ago. Lights turning on, machines acting on their own, and energy seen in the sky." She tapped the page. "The descriptions sound just like what you're going through now." Ethan listened carefully. "So this happened before?" Mia nodded. "Yes. But the strange thing is that there's no explanation. All the reports just stopped suddenly, like everything went back to normal." Leo crossed his arms. "Maybe the same thing will happen again." "Or," Mia said softly, "maybe it didn't stop. Maybe people just forgot." Her words hit Ethan deeper than she expected. Could something so big have happened in the past that everyone simply ignored later? Before Ethan could answer, the school bell rang. Every light on the school building flickered at the exact same moment. Students nearby gasped, whispering and pointing. Ethan felt a cold shiver run down his back. "It's getting stronger," he whispered. The principal's strange request school hours moved slowly. Everyone seemed restless after the strange morning flicker. Teachers stared at the lights more often than at their students. Even the computers in the lab froze more than usual. After lunch, Ethan was called to the principal's office. Leo whispered dramatically, "Good luck, man. Maybe you're getting an award for turning on lights with style." Mia elbowed Leo gently. "Don't joke. Something serious is happening." Ethan walked through the hallway. As he passed, the ceiling lights brightened one by one, following him like loyal companions. Students backed away with wide eyes. When he entered the office, Principal Harris greeted him with a calm smile. "Ethan, please sit." Ethan sat quietly while the lights on the walls softly increased their brightness, as if excited to see him. The principal folded her hands. "Ethan, many teachers noticed unusual things happening around you lately. I wanted to check if you're feeling well." "I'm fine," Ethan said honestly. "I just don't know why all this is happening." Principal Harris nodded slowly. "Sometimes people are given strange paths in life. Sometimes unusual gifts appear when they are needed." She paused. "Has anything frightening occurred?" "No," Ethan said after thinking. "It's strange, but it doesn't hurt." She smiled gently. "Good. If anything feels too heavy for you, you can always come to me." Ethan nodded and stood to leave. As he reached the door, the principal spoke again. "Ethan, just remember that light can be a guide, but also a warning." Her voice held a strange seriousness that made Ethan stop for a second. He wanted to ask more, but something in her expression told him she would not say anything else. He left quietly, more confused than before. The growing signal. After school, Ethan, Mia, and Leo went to the hill again. The old giant trees welcomed them with silent patience. The air there shimmered faintly, and the dry leaves gently moved even without wind. Mia pulled out a small device she had borrowed from the science club. "This can measure basic energy fields," she said proudly. Leo looked impressed. "Wow, you basically brought a ghost detector." Mia rolled her eyes. "It's not for ghosts. It's for science." When Ethan walked near the device, the screen lit up instantly and numbers moved rapidly. The device beeped loudly. Mia's eyes widened. "This is much stronger than yesterday." Ethan felt a pressure in the air, not painful, but heavy, like the world was waiting for something. "What if this is leading us somewhere?" he asked. Leo pointed toward the forest path. "Like deeper inside?" Mia nodded. "Let's check, but we must stay together." They walked down the narrow path, passing shadows of tall trees. The deeper they went, the more the air shimmered. Small stones beside the trail vibrated softly. Dry branches glowed for a second when Ethan brushed past them. Leo whispered, "I'm trying not to panic, but this is really weird." Mia studied the screen again. "The signal is growing, but not randomly. It feels like it's guiding us forward." Finally, they reached an old clearing. In the center stood a broken stone pillar. Thick vines covered it. It looked ancient, older than the town itself. Ethan stepped closer. As soon as his hand touched the surface, every light source within the forest, fireflies, glowing fungi, even reflections from the sky, suddenly brightened at the same time. The energy burst was strong, like a silent wave of brightness passing through everything. Mia gasped. "This pillar, it reacted to you." Leo rubbed his arms. "I don't like this. It feels alive." Ethan closed his eyes for a moment. The pillar felt cold, but beneath the coldness, he sensed something. Something watching, something remembering. He stepped back quickly. Mia lifted the device again. "Whatever this is, it's connected to you. Maybe you awakened something that has been sleeping for a long time." Leo shook his head. "I say we leave before something jumps out of the ground." But nothing scary happened. Instead, the brightness faded slowly, returning the forest to normal. Still, Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that something unseen had silently greeted him. The past awakens. That night, Ethan could not sleep. Lights kept blinking in his house every few minutes, not randomly, but almost like a heartbeat. Ethan finally stood up and looked out the window toward the distant forest. He could clearly see a faint glow there, like the clearing still held the memory of the light wave. He whispered softly, "What are you trying to tell me?" Suddenly, the lamp beside his bed turned on by itself. Ethan stared at it. The lamp flickered once, then twice, then 3 times. A pause, then again 3 times. Ethan's eyes widened. He grabbed a notebook and wrote down the blink pattern. It repeated again and again. 3 blinks. Pause. 3 blinks. "It's not random," he whispered. "It's a message." He thought about the old pillar, the signal, the forest, and the principal's strange warning. Something connected all of it. He stared at the lamp again. "Why me?" he asked. The lamp blinked once, then stopped. Not an answer, but a confirmation. Ethan felt a strange calmness settle inside him. He did not understand what the light wanted or why it followed him, but he knew one thing clearly. The light was not dangerous. It was calling him, guiding him, preparing him for something. And whatever that something was, it was getting closer every day. The next morning, Ethan woke up with a clear purpose. The blinking pattern from the lamp last night kept repeating in his mind. 3 blinks, pause, 3 blinks. It felt like a signal, a direction, or maybe a call for help. He did not fully understand it yet, but he knew it was important. After getting ready, he grabbed his notebook and stepped outside. The early air was cool and still. Birds were perched on wires, looking down at him as if they, too, sensed something unusual around him. As he walked down the street, every street lamp softly brightened just a little. Not too bright, not too sudden, almost gentle. It felt like the lights were showing him the path. Ethan whispered, "I'm listening." The lights blinked once, almost as if they understood. A plan forms. Ethan met Mia and Leo near the school gate. Mia immediately noticed his serious expression. "Something happened last night," she said. Ethan nodded and showed them the blink pattern he wrote down. "It repeated again and again," he explained. 3 blinks, pause, 3 blinks. Leo scratched his head. "Maybe it's just random?" "No," Mia said firmly. "Lights around Ethan never act randomly." She studied the paper carefully. "This could be a location code or something similar, or maybe it connects to the old pillar we found." Ethan felt a strange tug inside him at the mention of the pillar. It was like his chest tightened for a moment, as if something in the forest wanted him to return. "I think the forest wants to show us something," he said quietly. Leo frowned. "The forest doesn't want anything." But Mia looked thoughtful. "Maybe not the forest itself, but something inside it." They glanced at each other, all three carrying the same mix of curiosity and fear. "We go after school," Ethan said. Mia nodded. "Together." Leo sighed dramatically but nodded too. "If something glows, hums, or tries to talk, I'm running." "Just warning you." The day filled with strange signs. The school day passed in an odd way. Everywhere Ethan went, lights flickered with soft patterns, not chaotic, but almost like they were communicating. In the library, the reading lamps blinked in that same 3-3 pattern. In the cafeteria, a soda machine lit up when he walked by. In the hallway, the ceiling lights formed a gentle wave of brightness ahead of him. Ethan tried not to panic. Mia watched closely, taking notes whenever something happened. Leo counted how many times the lights reacted. He reached 42 before lunch ended. During a math class, the teacher stopped teaching when the classroom lights dimmed and brightened slowly. Her eyes widened. "Are the electricians working again?" she asked nervously. Ethan sank lower in his seat. Mia covered her notebook so no one saw her notes. Leo pointed subtly to Ethan's desk, where the small metal pin he used for assignments was vibrating. By the last class, even students who didn't know Ethan well were whispering about strange lights following him. But Ethan did not care about their whispers anymore. Something stronger than fear was guiding him now. Return to the forest. After the final bell, Ethan, Mia, and Leo hurried toward the hill. The air around the forest edge felt different, lighter, almost humming. The leaves rustled even without wind, and small specks of light floated between branches like tiny stars. Leo muttered, "Okay. I'm definitely nervous." Mia turned on the energy reading device she brought earlier. The screen lit up at once, brighter than before. "The readings are much higher than yesterday," she said. "Almost double." Ethan placed his hand near the device. The numbers jumped so fast the screen almost froze. "It's calling again," he whispered. They walked deeper into the forest, following the narrow path they took earlier. Every time Ethan took a step, faint, glowing dust rose softly from the ground, like the earth itself was remembering something. When they reached the clearing with the stone pillar, the air shimmered with warm light. The pillar looked the same, covered in vines and age, but something inside it faintly glowed. Ethan approached slowly. The light grew brighter. Mia watched carefully. "Be careful," Leo added, "really careful." Ethan touched the stone gently. The entire clearing lit up for a brief second, like a flash of quiet brightness. Not dangerous, not blinding, just alive. The ground hummed under their feet. The trees around them flickered with soft white light. The vines on the pillar shifted slightly, revealing old carvings beneath. Mia gasped. "There's writing on it!" The symbols were strange, curved lines mixed with small dots. None of them could read it. But Ethan felt something in his mind, like a whisper without sound, a memory he didn't own. It means, welcome. He didn't know how he knew, but he felt certain. Mia stared at him in amazement. Ethan, how do you... Before she finished, the pillar brightened again. A soft beam of light stretched from the carvings to Ethan's hand, connecting gently, not painfully. Ethan froze, but he did not feel fear. Instead, he felt warmth spreading through him, like sunlight in winter, a hidden memory in the light. Suddenly, Ethan's mind filled with images, not sharp or frightening, but soft like dreams. He saw the same forest long ago without modern houses nearby. The pillar stood tall and unbroken. A warm sphere of light hovered above it, pulsing softly. People gathered around the pillar, calm faces, peaceful. They were not frightened. They watched the light with respect, almost like it was a friend. Then the image faded. Ethan opened his eyes. Mia and Leo were staring at him. "What did you see?" Mia asked softly. "I think..." Ethan breathed slowly. "This place used to be important. People came here to connect with something. Something made of light." Leo shook his hands nervously. "Like a creature?" "Not exactly," Ethan said. "More like a guide or a guardian." Mia stepped closer to the pillar, examining the carvings. Maybe the light stayed here for centuries. "Maybe it watched over the area." Ethan nodded. "And now, it's waking up again, through me." The idea felt heavy, but not scary anymore. It felt true. The forest reacts. Suddenly, the air thickened. Leaves floated up, glowing faintly. Small stones around the pillar vibrated. A soft wind circled around them even though nothing else in the forest moved. Mia grabbed Ethan's arm. "It's reacting again!" Leo stepped back. "Guys, maybe we should leave now." But Ethan stepped closer instead. "It's okay. It doesn't want to harm us." The brightness increased until the whole clearing looked like dawn. Then everything stilled. A single thin line of light moved from the pillar and rose into the air like a signal, straight up into the sky, then fading slowly. Ethan's voice was calm. "It sent a message." Leo blinked. "A message to who?" Ethan lowered his hand. "I don't know, but something far away, something old. We'll hear it." The forest slowly returned to normal. Leaves fell to the ground again. The glow faded. The warm hum softened. Mia took a deep breath. "So, what does this mean?" Ethan looked at his hands. Light still sparkled faintly on his skin, but dimmed gently after a moment. "It means this was only the beginning." Heading home with new purpose. As they left the forest, the atmosphere around them felt different. Less mysterious, more peaceful. Even Leo felt calmer. "Okay," he said. "Today was scary, but also kind of amazing." Mia smiled softly. "We witnessed something ancient." Ethan walked quietly beside them. He felt lighter, as if a piece of the mystery inside him had opened. But he also knew something else. Whatever they awakened was only one part of a larger story. When they reached the town again, the street lamps blinked softly in the familiar pattern. 3 blinks, pause, 3 blinks. Ethan smiled and whispered, "I understand." The lights glowed warmly in response. A silent promise. That night, Ethan stood under the sky near his home. The stars twinkled above, peaceful and steady. The lights near him brightened softly, not too much, just enough to show they were there. Ethan looked up. "I don't know what you want me to do yet," he said quietly, "but I won't be afraid." The lamp next to him blinked once, gentle, warm, almost like a nod. He smiled. "And whatever comes next, I'll be ready." As he walked back inside, every light he passed glowed softly, not out of fear or confusion, but like a silent promise. A beginning had awakened. and the world of light was waiting.